Just in regards to this 885 acres in terms of revenue, if we think about this, in the first year, 5 years, 10 years, through this annexation, rezoning, I suspect there's not going to be a lot of significant, there's not a buyer, for example, as I understand it, with the land department. So we annex, we rezone, we agree to the specific plan, and then we wait, right?
Yes.
And so that the revenue that is generated by this, if you look at, like I said, 1 5 year, it seems with this model is that in those early years there's a steady increase of revenue stream. And then we're going to reach a point where that peaks, and because just as we've talked about and build out, but just using that 885 acres, is that a fair characteristic? Gradual increase in revenue, and then it peaks at some point and may even start to decline. Is that fair or not?
That's probably a fair assessment.
But then you look at the expenditures, and maybe Mr. Kiesler, you could speak to this. So those expenditures that the town is incurring in that first 5, 10 years are relatively low. Is that true? No?
I could speak to the roads and the drainage.
Yeah, well, that's a significant, infrastructure is a significant...
The newer the road is, the newer the drainage structure is, the less we spend on it. But we do have to, and that's where Oro Valley's been successful, we keep our eye on the ball.
The expenditures begin relatively low because, right, that's part of the impact fees, and we have the contractors build the roads, put in the sidewalks. We don't do that, right? Typically. So that's all done. The people who buy those homes, the commercial, so all that's being paid for. So and I realize we may have to bring in additional public safety. There's parks, or there's all these other costs, but at least initially it's relatively low. But over time, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, what's the life expectancy of a road, Mr.
Sure.
Kiesler?
So a life expectancy of a road, again, depends on how you invest in it. If you invest in it in modest increments, say every 3 to 4 years, it stays fairly consistent. The developer,
as in forever, or
not forever.
Oh, well,
yeah, I would say 30, 40 years.
Okay, so it has a life, even with all that good 3-year pavement preservation. At some point, you got to replace that road.
You'll have to increase the intensity of that surface treatment, ultimately, and actual replacement of the road. That's speculation on my part right now.
Speculate.
50 years, 40 to 50 years.
Okay, 50 years. So our revenue is going up, reach peak, starts going down, but our expenditures do what?
Well, again, our expenditures stay relatively constant throughout the life of that road for quite some time, and then.
But at some point it has to be replaced. So our expenditures, sidewalks, they don't last forever.
That's correct.